It's not just us, we'd have to concur. We've got folk singers, rappers and punkers. Everyone taking care of one another.
Welcome to the Unsigned Unwind. I am Andy Scullin. I am your host. And what this show is, it's my attempt to take a look at some of the local music scenes across the U.S. and Canada, because there are so many scenes, and you'd be amazed to find that in so many of these pockets in a very small area, sometimes like a 20 or 30 mile area, there's hundreds of different musical acts of all different genres, and it's like a robust scene, and everybody knows each other. And outside, once you get farther outside of that area, it's not as well known. But what I want to do is make it so that all those kind of smaller pockets can connect with each other and get to know each other and know each other's music and know what's happening in each other's scenes. So when they're passing through town or when they're passing near town, they can connect with people that they've heard on the show and maybe have met in real life through the show. So the way the show works, and this is only episode 6, so obviously it's going to take a while before my vision, happens, if it ever actually does. But it's getting there. But the way the show works is Angela Tourangeau, who is the showrunner, sets up the interview. She does all the outreach. She does all the incoming communication with bands. And we set a day that I can record, and she basically in a Google Calendar gives me the name of the artist, the band, if applicable, and a phone number. And what it is, I only want to, like on this show, on Unsigned 518, I sit down with entire bands, but on this show, I just want it to be a one-on-one with one person, just because we're trying to get a lot of information in a very short amount of time. So I think it would just be better if it's just one-on-one. But that's all I know. I know very little about what is going on. I don't do any research ahead of time. I don't know what style of music it is. I don't know if they're a solo artist or part of a polyphonic spree-sized 42-member group. I have no idea until I get them on the phone, and that's where the discovery comes in, and you're right there along with me. So what we're going to do right now is go to the phone, and I'm going to talk to Nate Goyette, and essentially that's all I know. So let's go to the phone, and hey, what's up, Nate?
Hey, Andy, how's it going?
It is going well. So before we got recording, I kind of told you a little bit about what I know going into this, and that is basically nothing. I was given your first name and your phone number, and I'm going to find out a little bit about your music, a little bit about where you are from, how people can find you, and then we're going to hear a song. So I guess first and foremost, you said you perform, it's solo artist, so it's Nate Goyette is the name.
Mm-hmm.
And where or what city or where are you from, basically?
Yeah. So I'm mostly I tell people I kind of operate out of southern Vermont / the northern Berkshires. I'm from the little small town Adams, Mass. There, but kind of southern Vermont. So I find myself actually out in Troy, New York, pretty often, Brattleboro. So I don't really have like a specific musical home where I'm at, but everything's about 40 minutes to an hour away where I tend to make my trips these days, and a couple here or there to places like Connecticut and up towards like the New Hampshire way and stuff like that. So kind of all around New England.
That's funny because like I know nothing about and I've the artists before the phone call, and I mean I've had people from Seattle and, Cincinnati and Detroit and everything. And the places you're talking, like, I drive over to North Adams to get my weed. Like, and I'm from Southern Vermont. So,
oh, goodness.
Yeah. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, I'm from,
no, did not.
I'm from Southern Vermont, and I live, I'm in, up near Saratoga. New York now.
Oh, okay.
Is where I'm out of. But yeah, that's funny. So you're relatively local to where I am. So maybe after we're done here, we should talk about having you come on my in-person show, Unsigned 518, which is just for the local.
I'd be honored. Thank you. This whole thing was to get on the other podcast. Trust me.
It was just a ploy to get
It's
on
all a
Unsigned
ploy, a
518.
little mystery,
Yeah. So I guess, Nate, go back or tell the folks a little bit about your music, like what I guess some influences or how you would describe your music.
Yeah. This is a question I think about often. I think a lot of folks do. I'd say broadly speaking, I'm somewhere on the indie dash something spectrum. So indie folk or indie rock. I could go into a whole diatribe about indie as a prefix, but as a person kind of, I'm like 30, so I'm relatively young, but when you're in your early 15, 16, 17, whatever, I naturally kind of gravitated towards like the Elliott Smith side of things and that sort of like late 90s indie rock, indie folk. So like the Mountain Goats, Built to Spill, Neutral Milk Hotel. These are a lot of buzzwords, but I love classic rock too and a lot of 60s songwriter stuff. So I'd say for fans of, somewhere between Elliott Smith and the Weaker Thans, maybe. So it's a little bit of a punk rock side too. Yeah, the songs just kind of happen is always what I say.
And you were saying that you're solo, but you like on the albums, are you like a multi-instrumentalist or like on your recorded songs?
Yeah, I am. So I've released 2 EPs, and I'm terrible about taking the time to record because I really enjoy doing the full band arrangement stuff. But yeah, I can play bass, drums, I do the keys, write all the lyrics, and sing and all that stuff. I did farm out some of the work on the most recent EP that came out, not this May, but last May, to play bass and drums because I was just comfortable enough in the songs themselves to be like, you can come up with the parts. I don't need to micromanage this. But yeah, they're full band arrangements, drums, bass, guitar, pretty standard sort of thing. Acoustic, electric, there's some shreddy guitar from a friend of mine on a couple of songs, which is always fun.
And when you play out, I mean, do you do like a hybrid? Like sometimes you're out doing acoustic stuff, sometimes you're out full band, or?
Right now, it's just me. I would love to actually assemble an ensemble. It's been on my mind the last couple of months. I might actually try to make that a reality. But yeah, it's just usually me and an acoustic guitar, and I'm just starting to try to incorporate, some of the more studio side things, like just effects and stuff like that.
Right,
but mostly I try to just do it live without a net.
Yeah,
For better or worse.
It keeps the chops up, and that way when you do like find an outfit or like a couple of other like-minded individuals to start playing with, and that load gets taken off you, I don't know, there's something about like that, because I've done both, like played solo stuff and played with bands. And when you're playing with bands, like the creativity is just so much because you're like, I don't have to lift. I don't have to lift as much, It's like
truly exactly. I play because I'm a multi-instrumentalist. Like I've always been a band guy, so I'm in a couple other groups, and it is fun when it's just like, oh, I'm just playing the drums, or I get to play bass, and bass is the one where I'm like, I just be in time, play the simplest, best thing for the moment, and you're just getting paid either way, and it's so much fun,
Yeah,
love a good bass.
I filled in because like I play bass in my band, but I also like sing on a lot of stuff and do backup vocals and this and that. And I filled in with another band playing just bass. And what you just described, I had that exact moment where I'm like, no, don't even give me a microphone. I'm just gonna stay back here and just play,
Exactly.
lock into the root notes, and that's it. Like, so how long have you been performing out and like recording music?
Yeah, I only really started writing pretty late, I think, for a lot of people. I was graduating college in 2016, so that's when I started writing. I didn't really start playing out in earnest. Well, I mean, COVID happened, that kind of derailed everything. So I tried to start in 2019, just got sidetracked. But I'd say last year was when I really started to do it with any sort of urgency, whether in bands or more my solo stuff. So about last August is when it started to pick up. And usually for the last almost a year now, but the last 10 months, it's been about no more, except for a few breaks, about every 15, no more than 15 days I have a gig basically. So I've been pretty busy, which is great. A little tiring and, wears on the vehicle, but it's been amazing actually having a pretty consistent performance schedule.
Well, that's actually, brings us to my next question. So, hypothetically, let's say you've had, one of the busiest musical months that you've ever had, where you're just like every weekend you have gigs or you're rehearsing. You've just been putting your soul into your music, and then you find yourself with a day where you have zero responsibilities and you want to unwind. What non-musical activity would you unwind to?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm a person that's got a lot of hobbies. None of them like crazy hobbies, but I like getting into things. In the summer, it's definitely I'll try to go longboarding. And I'm not like a crazy good longboarder, but I'll do that and just get out onto like a bike trail in Adams, Mass, and just kind of visit my family and ride on that for a few hours. I am sitting at a table with a bunch of Magic the Gathering cards right now, so that's another thing. Building decks and playing them eventually. Reading. I do a lot of things, but I don't think anything are really that crazy. But those are the big ones. I enjoy making a good cocktail too. I got a modest bar, I'd say. That's generally how I unwind, I think.
And so where can people find you online, like your socials, or where can they stream your music?
Yeah, you can find me on all the normal, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. It's Nate Goyette, NateGoyette. You can go to nategoyette.com for all the live dates and other stuff in there, some YouTube videos and whatnot. And then if you want to follow me on social media, the kind of main one that I use is Instagram, and you can find that. You can find me at Old Man Goyette. It's a joke that I think only I find funny, and I probably should just change it to Nate Goyette Music at some point. But for now, it's Old Man Goyette, and that's where I post. If I don't have a gig, I will abandon it and you won't see me for weeks. And then if I do, I will be posting way too many stories.
Perfect. That's awesome. All right. Well, cool. Well, it was nice to meet you, Nate. And again, once we wrap up here, we should talk about having you come on Unsigned 518 because that'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be a blast.
Maybe we could even get you hooked up with some other musicians here in
I'm sure I'm out in Troy pretty often.
Cool, yeah.
So I'm sure we have some mutual friends.
Yeah,
and stuff like
we would
that,
definitely.
So.
Yeah, I lived in Troy for 10 years maybe. Before I moved up north to the country.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So before we go, let's listen to Nate Goyette's song. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so the song is the title track of the EP I put out in May 2023. It's called "The War on Comfort," and that's the name of the EP as well. And it's one of those songs that, it's funny, I've talked about. This is the sort of thing where I perform solo, acoustic guitar and voice, and that's it. This is the one song that I really haven't figured out how to do solo with just acoustic and voice because it's 2 chords. So the times I get to actually share it with people, I'm very excited about. So here's the recording of it. And someday if I have a band or I become a better guitar player, maybe I can actually play it live because I'm really happy with this song.
All right, let's listen to "The War on Comfort," Nate Goyette. And Nate, it was a pleasure having you on, and we'll talk soon. But right now, let's listen to the song, and it's here on the Unsigned Unwind.
I can't pick a side. I will not be alive. I can't find the context between what I need between what I want, what I can get for free. They say go all in or nothing, but they don't bet on me. They know the house always wins, but I know those drinks are free. So when I spin that dial and put it all on green, if it comes up black, well, I'll know what it means. I wanna stand for something. I'm tired of falling asleep. Thought we won in '68. I guess that was all just a dream. And you're not Janis Joplin, I'm not John Fogerty. The bad moon's on the rise, can't stop it hard as we try.
All right, that was The War on Comfort's Nate Goyette. And thank you so much for listening. And if you can like, rate, and subscribe wherever you do listen, there's going to be new episodes of the Unsigned Unwind every other Wednesday, but also right in this same feed, you can get Unsigned 518, which comes out every Tuesday, and Unsigned 518's Weekend Spotlight that come out every Thursday. And those are a literal snapshot of what's kind of happening in the weekend. And some music thrown in the episode from local artists, and like I said, you can get those all right in the same feed. I also want to remind you to go to themetroland.com. The concert calendar is up. Right now we have previews, reviews, and interviews, and it's growing every day. We're listening to what the people are saying, and Aaron Harks is really busting butt and getting things going, and I'm very, very honored to be on the team. So go to themetroland.com. Right now the concert calendar is there, and it's only going to get better, but it has so much on there already. So it's themetroland.com. And that is it for this episode of the Unsigned Unwind. I am Andy Scullin, and I'll see you on the road. If you would like to be a guest on the Unsigned Unwind, send an email to Angela@unsignedproductions.com. Take care of one another, and I'll see you soon.